the National Public Diplomacy Directorate in the Prime Minister's office here in Jerusalem this Thursday, the 25th of June, 2026. I've got just a couple of points to share with you, and then we'll take your questions. Please put your questions in the chat of this Zoom with your name and outlet, and we'll get to them. We begin today with sad news. Since the Hamas launched brutal attack on October the 7th on Israel with the support of Hezbollah, the Houthis, and other Iranian proxies, 962 IDF heroes have fallen defending our country. Now, behind every number is a life of promise, a family forever changed, and a sacrifice that will never be forgotten. Today, we mourn Master Sergeant in the Reserves, Basil Suede, who was 32 years old and from the Druze town of Pekin. He fell in southern Lebanon. The Prime Minister said he received the news with deep pain, describing Basil as a brave reserve soldier imbued with a sense of mission, who symbolized the inseparable connection between the Druze community and the State of Israel, and the eternal alliance between us. The Prime Minister said, "We embrace his family in this difficult time and send our heartfelt condolences. May his memory be a blessing." On Lebanon, last night, the Prime Minister explained why Israel is continuing its campaign against Hezbollah, also against Iran and the remaining terrorist threats. He said that when others urged Israel not to act, not to enter Rafah, not to enter Lebanon, not to enter Syria, and not to strike Iran, Israel did indeed act. And the results are indeed monumental. On Lebanon, the Prime Minister said that there is a security zone that prevents Hezbollah and its remnants from invading the Galilee, because that is precisely what their plan was. He added that we are destroying all of the underground infrastructure. Even up to a few days ago, Hezbollah attacked our Israeli forces with more than 50 rockets, drones, and anti-tank missiles. Now, that attack was a reminder of precisely why the Prime Minister says that Israel will maintain the security zone in southern Lebanon for as long as it takes. Now, looking ahead, he said that Israel is tackling what he called the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project of modern warfare, as the Prime Minister described it. We will be the first in the world to solve the explosive drone problem, which is indeed such a problem, not only between Russia and Ukraine, but around the world. It's very much a global issue. On Syria, he said that Israel's position remains unmistakably clear. We will protect our Druze brothers and we will never abandon them. On Iran, the Prime Minister said he has dedicated most of his adult life to preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, and he reaffirmed as long as he is Prime Minister, Iran will not have nuclear weapons. He also acknowledged that there is still work to do in Gaza and Lebanon and against Iran, but he stressed that Israel will finish the job. And he also made one final commitment. As long as I'm Prime Minister, he said last night, we will maintain the security zone in southern Lebanon. For as long as it takes, we will maintain the security of the north. The one lesson that we've learned from October the 7th is that we will not allow genocidal terrorist forces anywhere near our northern border, our eastern border, or our southern border, or indeed any border. Okay, that's the end of our briefing here today. Please put your questions in the chat together with your name and news outlet, and we will take them. Okay, the first question we've got here is from Iran International, based in London. President Trump recently suggested that Damascus could do more to restrain Hezbollah's activities. Does Israel see a future role for Damascus in limiting Hezbollah's presence, or is Israel relying primarily on its own security measures? Thank you very much for that question. Look, on Lebanon, Israel is conducting direct negotiations directly with Lebanon under the auspices of the United States. And we're talking about all of the outstanding issues, including but not limited to the redeployment of the IDF forces after, this is very important, after the demilitarization of southern Lebanon and the disarming of Hezbollah. Now, our policy could not be clearer. Israel will judge actions and not words. Hezbollah has repeatedly attacked Israel from Lebanese territory. That is why the Prime Minister has made extremely clear that we'll maintain the security zone in southern Lebanon for as long as necessary to protect our citizens. Now, if there are any other actors in this region that take genuine, verifiable steps to prevent Hezbollah from rearming or regrouping or attacking Israel, then that will contribute, of course, to regional stability. But Israel will never, it has never, and it will never outsource our security to anyone else. Now, just to answer your question specifically, as the Prime Minister said clearly last night, as long as he is Prime Minister, he will maintain the security zone in southern Lebanon for as long as it takes, and we will maintain the security of the north. Okay, the second question from Iran International in London. How does Israel assess the current level of Iranian influence in Lebanon and Syria compared with a year ago? Thank you for that question again from Siavash from Iran International in London. Look, there's no doubt that Hezbollah has suffered significant blows. Israel has made a huge impact on the 150,000 Iranian missile arsenal. We've destroyed the overwhelming majority of that missile arsenal. But Iran's ability to project power through Syria has also been massively degraded. That is one of the effects of our efforts against Iran. That said, it's clear that Iran has not abandoned its ambitions. It continues to seek ways to rebuild its networks, to rearm its proxies and destabilize the region. And the fall of President Assad in Syria, that regime, very much disrupted the Iranian land corridor through Syria and made it more difficult to sustain Hezbollah, even though the Iranian networks remain, although in a much depleted form. So that is precisely why, to answer your question specifically, that is precisely why that Israel's eyes remain wide open. We are vigilant. We measure success in our region not by declarations, not by nice words or pieces of paper, but by whether Hezbollah can threaten Israeli communities and whether Iran can re-establish its military infrastructure. The Prime Minister couldn't have been clearer. He said it last night. He said there is still work to do. Okay, next question here I can see from Jordana Miller from ABC in the USA. How are the Israel-Lebanon talks going in Washington? We're hearing reports that not much progress is being made on the issue of the IDF's partial withdrawal from southern Lebanon. Okay, thank you for that question, Jordana. Let me reiterate the point that Israel, we are indeed conducting direct negotiations with Lebanon on all the outstanding issues. Now, you wouldn't expect me to give a running commentary on those issues, but let me tell you what we are discussing. These are some of the issues, and it's not limited to just what I'm talking about. We are talking about the redeployment of IDF forces, but only after demilitarization of southern Lebanon and disarming Hezbollah. October the 7th has taught us the most important lesson for every Israeli and this country being led by Prime Minister Netanyahu. That important lesson is this: we will never again allow a genocidal force, a genocidal terrorist force on any of our borders. That is the lesson of October the 7th, and that is what we're putting into action in every single one of our borders. The next question you've asked is, from Jordana Miller from ABC USA, have the USA moved some of its refueling planes from Ben Gurion Airport? If so, how many and where have they been restationed? Thank you for that question, Jordana. I can recommend that you contact the Ministry of Transportation directly to answer that question. It's already been talked about in the media. It's that our Transportation Minister has expressed concern about the capacity at Ben Gurion Airport, and so actions are being taken to alleviate those concerns. Okay, next question is from Jan Borgend from Axel Springer in Germany. The IDF has postponed the demolition of several Hezbollah terror infrastructures in southern Lebanon amid the current ceasefire with the terror group, the Times of Israel has learned. Is this part of a new strategy in Lebanon? Thank you for that question, Jan. Look, once again, I'm not going to give a running commentary on discussions directly with Lebanon, but we are conducting those direct negotiations with Lebanon on all of the outstanding issues, including but not limited to redeployment of IDF forces. But, this is the very important but, only after the demilitarization of southern Lebanon and disarming Hezbollah. There is no question whatsoever of Israel having any genocidal forces anywhere near our border. Now, this has been true since the ceasefire of 2024, when the Lebanese armed forces were supposed to disarm Hezbollah. That did not happen, and it must happen before Israel withdraws from southern Lebanon to protect our northern border. The Prime Minister has made this crystal clear. He could not be clearer, and he made this point again last night. We will not withdraw our forces from southern Lebanon as long as Hezbollah remains a threat, are not disarmed, and are not demilitarized. Okay, next question here I can see is from Paula Nuremberg from Mediaset in Italy. How do you respond to the US rumors that IDF is leaving some areas in southern Lebanon? Thank you very much for that question, Paula. I believe I've already answered that question. We're not giving a running commentary, but we are making extremely clear that our responsibility is to our northern citizens and to the whole of Israel, and we will not allow any terrorist force anywhere near our border, which means that any redeployment of IDF forces comes after, not before, but after the demilitarization of southern Lebanon and the disarming of Hezbollah. We've already been in this situation in 2024. Hezbollah was supposed to be disarmed. They weren't. They were supposed to be pushed back. They weren't. And October the 7th has taught us the lesson for all Israelis, led by the Prime Minister, is that we will never again have a genocidal force anywhere near our southern border. Okay, that seems to be the last question I've got here today. I believe I've answered all of your questions. Thank you for joining us here today. We'll have another briefing likely next week. In the meantime, please do stay safe. You can reach out to us for questions and or indeed interviews. But in the meantime, please do stay safe. Thank you very much.